So, as part of the session, this is the things which we are going to cover, like some introduction about the what is the current trend and what is the market share of mobile security, how it is penetrating into the current ecosystem, and what is the statistics of the mobile usage, and current state of mobile security and the recent attacks and various mobile threats, and what are the some best privacy configurations which will uh, aid in our keeping our data secure, some security tips. So this is the overall outline of the today's session. So if you see the how the mobile devices have been penetrated into the current overall global economy, as well as the global usage of the mobile application. So there is a vast penetration of mobile devices into the globally. So because we are going to use the mobile applications for the various purposes, like for the communication, we will use for the payments and for the gaming, internet uses, not only limited for the some services, as well as they are the which are having the capability of hardware, which mobile devices build up with some hardware capabilities, which give the capabilities like capturing of the camera, calculator, barcode reader. So many hardware facilities along with the software related services are coming together, and uh, providing various services to the end users, right? So in this way, the mobile has been uh, kept their pace in the penetrating into the global market, as well as the global level, the overall user level also. So this the major entities to make the mobile device that much of rapid growth and rapid penetration is because it is having the multi functionality in a single handheld device. If you see, if you compare the normal desktop system and mobile system, in the recent times, there is no much difference. Everything, whatever the best you are able to do in the daily needs, the same everything you are able to fulfill with the handheld device like mobile devices, right? So these are the some mobility factors, and as well as the cost factors. So there is a multiple usability, means multifunctionality capabilities of all these things has made that mobile device as an entity as part of our daily life. So day by day, the different organizations and the personal usages also, people and the organizations also welcoming the part of mobile devices as their part of their organizations and systems for the various purposes of the effective development, means to make the work very simple, fast, quicker and easy. So many lot of uh, positive sides of the mobile devices which made the mobile devices penetration more into the market. So if you see the current state of mobile device usage in the current country, if you see from 2015 to 2022, 2022, this is the estimated a research which has conducted on how the smartphone users in India, what is the way the growth will happen. If you see around 2022, there is an estimated growth of 442 million users will exist in the India if the growth is going to continue like that. This is a research study which has conducted around 2019. But however, surprisingly, the number of smartphone users have already crossed the 500 millions in the 2019 at the end itself. So current prediction says that number of smartphone users would cross 850 millions by 22. So means the previous statistics are it's almost double the what it has been predicted. So this shows that how strongly mobile devices has penetrated into the market. So the mobile internet users in the India also gradually increasing day by day. Very long back in the very some years back, a 1 GB data per month is something like very huge amount of data which is available to the end user. But in the current day-to-day life, 1 GB is nothing but it is a very small amount of data, and everyone is getting with the competitive internet internet service providers. The data availability has been drastically increased. So indirectly, the more the mobile internet users has been uh, rapidly grown. So this is how the fact in the 2015 there are around 242 million users are there who are got the chance to use the internet. But in 2023, if you see that it is predicted like that 500 million users are getting there is a chances of getting the access of the internet. So the indirect penetration of the mobile devices into the system and the ability to get the internet connectivity to the more number of the users has also drastically increases the mode of mobile payments, because as part of the government initiatives supporting the digital transactions and all these things has made a strong push in the increasing in the mobile payment systems. Like in 2017 it is around 52 millions. Now in 2019 it has reached around 93.3 million. So overall there are so many factors like increasing the internet capability, the functionality, upgradation of the mobile devices day by day, enhancing their capabilities. So all this means cost effective. All this make the mobile related users penetrating overall usage has been increased. The internet access to these mobile and points also increase. So as well as the number of payments made through the mobile devices also drastically has been increased. So this tremendous increase in the usage of the mobile devices has led the we are directly or indirectly we are getting some data, as well as we are contributing some data also to the overall data coming to the device as well as leaving from our devices also has been gradually increased. So normally hackers tend to target the community where there is number of users are very more, where there is more data is going in and out. Such kind of systems are the most interested for the hackers to target, because let's say that if I have two categories where one category of operating system which is of 10 people are using, other category 90 people are using, definitely when there is more number of users the probability of attacking will be somewhat easy. So the hackers also this increase of data, drastic usage of mobile users and the data coming in and out of the devices all made huge impact to hackers to change their mind to target the mobile devices as a major entity in the current system. So Android is by large the mostly wide adopted mobile platform in the world. So it is almost 2.5 billion devices across the globe are currently operating. So if you, what is the main reason why this Android, particularly Android operating has that strong penetration across the globe? If you see, the one of the main reason is there is openness in the by default Android ecosystem. By default it is a openness, and it is supporting the more OEMs to onboard onto the Google Android operating system to take anyone can who is OEMs can incorporate that AOSP Android open source project mechanism of making custom platforms or Android mobile platforms, and a lot of developers also, because it's something like a Java language which is very well known and popular language. So use developer also very more focused onto the Android, and freelancers and users. So overall there is very huge amount of popularity to the Android when compared to the iOS operating system. So the increase of popularity and the growth and all made the parallelly the malicious developer also to make them more focused on this particular operating system. So in fact we can say that there are huge benefits, but at the same time the end users should be always very cautious while using the mobile phone. So the malicious developers also have become the extended arm to the Android ecosystem. We can say that extent they are also now targeting the Android operating system. So what is the current state of mobile security in the country? If you see, if you're previously we are in a state like that, normally hackers are trying to target very huge infrastructures or critical infrastructures, means where big critical data is there. That is the most targeted attacks, means critical agencies data, those things. But nowadays what happened is the complete shift of the drastic usage of the mobile phones, usage of mobile phones in every aspects of the uh, daily life usage. So gradually the focus of the targeting has been shifted to the mobiles. So a research study by the top research agency like a security expert says that at Checkpoint that now the complete shift has been changed and the most targeted thing is smartphone. So it is straight away says that smartphones the device that most people now carry in their pockets, and they have become the very large target attack center because how the mobile phones are common, so indirectly it made the hackers also now primarily focus on the handheld mobile device. If you see the growth of the threats with respect to the mobiles also, in 2016 around 50,000 to 2017 is 53. So there is a gradual jump in the usage of mobile phones in with respect to 2017 to 18. So there is also gradually huge jump in the number of threats or incidents occurred with respect to the mobiles. So this still continuing. So as of now, means the statistics at 2019 around, it's saying that almost 3 lakh plus of incidents has been reported with respect to the mobile phones. So what are the major Android malware that means there are very different kinds of attacks. So one of the major attack happened in India, which has almost compromised 25 million users, is which is called as Agent Smith. So this is one of the malware which has made much impact on the India from the Asia region. So this basically this Agent Smith it's something like look and feel like will be a legitimate app. Means normally the more number of installs, if you see an application, it is something like it is a photo utility or games or sex related application. So the people are more fascinated in the uses of these kind of applications. So indirectly, the nowadays the malicious attackers also has shown very much focus on this category of the application, and they had tried to enter into the device. So the malware, this particular people who are trying to attack, they are following the three-stage attack approach as shown in the diagram. So what first we will do is user try to download a infected application. Means it is something like it's mimic like it is as a outer view, it says like it is a beautification app or it's just like a gaming application or something. But internally it is having a malware which is Agent Smith malware, which is having the capability. So what this kind of malware is trying to do is it first enter into your device and it try to analyze the rest of the applications which are on the same platform, and it try to analyze the weaknesses in the each and every application, and then it will try to inculcate his code in the respective applications, and he try to do the malicious activity. In the stage one, the user will download the malicious application unknowingly. In the stage two, what it will do is it will try to contact with the command control center, and it will try to inject the malicious code into these unknown, means these innocent applications. Means there are so many applications which are part of the application. This malicious application try to find the weaknesses in the other application, and it try to misuse those weaknesses and try to attack the mobile device. So this is how the Agent Smith is going to function. So and one more thing to this is also one of the interesting fact that major attacks also happening because lot of users still in the India are still using the older versions of the Android. So Android is also gradually, when you see the 6, 7, 8 at that time, the level of security implemented at the OS level has been suddenly jump. Means a more security has been kept focus over the 8, 9, 10 versions. So gradually, whenever there is an upgrade in the Android operating system, there is a much focus has been kept from the Android operating system side, means from the Google side also, to make their operating system more secure. But in fact, in India, still the most of the users are using the older version of the operating system. So indirectly, they are becoming the prey for the hackers, right? So this is also one of the reason. And mobile hardware is also not manufactured in the country, or not the software that runs on it. Because if you see in India, the most of the Indian mobile devices today has been using are somewhere from imported from China, and the makers are itself China. So nothing is, even the software running is based on China, even the OS running inside that is based on the China. So it is something like which is not indigenous. We are trusting something, but we are unknowingly somehow we are getting prey to the malicious intentions if it all triggered. And even if the anti-malware solutions we are trying to install also, they are also nowhere designed or developed from the within the country. And in fact, a research done by the Qualcomm says that so many mobile wallets and mobile banking applications in India are not using hardware level security, which can make online transaction more secure. Means the security which is giving at the OS level is only limited with the software aspects of the security, but there are some like hardware level, like full encryption or file based encryption, where some hardware need to be supported. So those kind of hardware needed supported devices are very little bit usage in the Indian system. And a Qualcomm report has been pointed out that this as a main highlighted point, saying that a lot of applications still running on a devices where there is no hardware security is much practiced. Means the OEMs which we are using in India are only limited with the software security, but they are not much concerned about the same side increasing the capability of security with respect to the hardware, right? And there are numerous fake banking applications also and wallets being detected by the Google Play Store. And there frequently we will see in the news saying that these many application has been removed from the Google Play Store, because entry into making uploading into the Google Play Store is very easy when compared to the iPhone. However, if the users has keep much focus what they are downloading, or some precautionary measures if they take, it is very easy to overcome these kind of things. But there are numerous fake banking applications and wallets has been detected on the Play Store. So these are targeting the victims in India, which will mimic them. Means if you type in the Google Play, let's say for ICICI Bank or something, you will see a lot of applications with same tag of ICICI something, but very few of them things are genuinely come from the official developer, official ICICI developer. But a few of them which are managed or kept in the Google Play Store by the third-party entities. And there are a drastic growth of insecure mobile browsers also, because we are trying to install so many applications, so which not following the proper security and privacy, and they are somehow misusing your valuable data or critical data. So the antivirus companies like Peel, Kaspersky, etc., are extracting a lot of analytical information from the users. So they are also indirectly, as how the tendency of antivirus solutions is, I will provide solution, but at the same time I need information from your end also. Means the more data they are capturing from the individual entities of the mobile devices, and they will try to do analyze on your data. It is something like I will say simple example. If you say Truecaller, when we initially launched Truecaller, everyone felt that okay, we are able to know a person who called to us when though his name is not in our contacts. So they started like this as a service. Means we try to use something which is helping, but as a user, as a user of that application, you need to give your contacts access again to the Truecaller. Means you are giving contacts to Truecaller, they themselves making the database and somehow making you to identify a contact, though it is not there in your contact list. So same thing like antivirus solutions also indirectly they are collecting lot of information from your device, uh, saying that name as we require for the analytics. So this is how it is also happening. And if see, right now we are in the 4G usage era, but if we move ahead to the 5th generation internet connectivity speeds and all these things, then definitely it shows much impact on the overall security aspects of the mobile devices. So it is also a well-known thing. In future we are going to get the 5G. So now onwards the infrastructure of that networking things also kept and developed such that keeping the security as a paramount. So now we'll see some of the recent attacks as the pandemic has been triggered. So most of the suddenly there are a lot of people are in a very tough situation where they want to try to know about what is the COVID-19 situation, what is the in and out nearer to your place, what it is happening. So a lot of tracker applications has been evolved in this particular time period. So saying that statistics, what is the your nearer area, how many cases are there. So people has been preyed, means they had fall into the prey of the hackers. They try to install the fake coronavirus tracker applications. So what they try to do is they try to install, once they try to install the application, they try to take some of the critical information like which is there in your device, and they started to lock your entire device, and they are looking for some ransomware. Means what they will use, they will try to enter into your device and they will try to encrypt each and every file of your device until unless you pay a hefty amount, they won't make your device accessible, like 100 bitcoins they required. So this kind of attacks has been drastically increased in the during the times of the COVID. So they will warn like that within 48 hours, if you don't want to pay the amount which we are asking, they will try to erase your contacts, videos, or your personal data, which is very important as a user. So this is how the look and feel of the that COVID-19 tracker application. So, and WhatsApp zero click spyware attack also. This is something like a very tricky attack where it is something like you don't need to install an application or you don't need to something. It is something like you receive an unknown a call, and even you pick the call or even you don't attempt the call, still that spyware will try to get acquainted onto your device, and it will try to do all your in and out of your whatever you are doing on the device. It will try to make an eye on your activities. So this is one kind of attack which is called WhatsApp zero click spyware attack. Even the WhatsApp also tried to analyze, and they also said that how this kind of attack happened, they also not able to get the exact reason behind. But it is something believed that it is a spyware that was allegedly created by Israel and Israel cyber surveillance company NSO group. And what they are trying to do is they are trying to make this kind of spywares, and they are trying to sell to the government agencies and law enforcement agencies around the world, that allow them to take almost complete control of their device. Means they are making, they are doing a malicious thing, but on that malicious thing they are earning the money by selling to the whoever are interested to use that thing for doing a malicious activities. And we are also news recently, we had also learned like Facebook has leaking the data of the end users, ignoring the privacy policy. Because see, Facebook is the one of the social interactory app which will has been came into the ecosystem very long back only. So it has almost every individual user has some information is there with the Facebook. Though Facebook has mentioned as end user personal privacy, they won't disclose this data to anyone. But however, it came to know that even the Facebook has gave some of the information to world largest technological companies. So it is something like they are also get access to our users personal data. than it has disclosed. So effectively accepting those business partners from its user privacy rules means the Facebook has some tie-ups with the strong, very big, gigantic, largest technological companies, and they are trying to access our data, though it violates our basic privacy rules. So it will tell that how our personal data has become the most important entity in the daily life. Means this is in the digital age, that is the one of the important factor for doing anything. Means to grow a business, very means if I do a startup and I start a business or something, so where analytics is very important, so where the data, huge data, is the very important key aspect for the deriving the future plan of any business. So this data is very critical, and it has been also not exempted for the Facebook, because Facebook also having some deals in the leaking the data. And Facebook allowed the Microsoft Bing search engine to see the names of the virtually all Facebook users friends without consent. And the record shows that gave Netflix and Spotify the ability to read the Facebook users private message. And the social networks permitted Amazon to obtain the username and contact information. And recently in the 2016 elections of president time also, the Facebook has name has came very prominent on the news channels, saying that Cambridge Analytica consulting firm has improperly used the Facebook data to build the tools that aided in the President Trump's 2016 election campaign. So means there are a lot of instances like Uber has not mishandled the users, drivers, user data. I mean, the whoever taking the cab and their data has been not properly secured, and a lot of instances are there where this data has been not properly secured, and it is more targeted also, right? So now coming to what are the major threat vectors in the current ecosystem as of today, like hidden application, mobile phishing, and fake mobile apps, and malware, spywares, like adwares, ransomware, IoT threats, latest trends, so Wi-Fi threats, data leaks, and misconfiguration of the device. So these are the major threats which are existing in the current system. So we will try to see some of the tips to overcome these kind of threats. So first I will give little introduction about the what fake apps means. Means fake app means something, it is a look and feel, should be seems to be like a genuine application. Sometimes functionality also you will feel like a genuine application, but they will try to mimic the original user original application look and feel, but users also falling prey and they try to install. So their primary motto is stealing of the credential data and the financial data, business data, other sensitive data, and display of ads for revenue. Because see, when your application is there, some ads are coming through your apps, indirectly you are getting money, you are earning a money. So these fake apps are they try to mimic like original application. Once they start entry into your device, they start the stealing of above mentioned information. So how fake applications are built means, normally built for a popular brand that does not have an application of its means. Let's say that in market we have a very good brand, but unfortunately for that particular good brand there is no application at the mobile side. Means all the support they have the at the desktop level, means browser level of the desktop level there is a agent which will help, but no mobile application. So these hackers, these malicious intention guys, what they are trying to do is they want to use the brand name, and they want to publish an application uh, pretending like they are the genuine developers. So, and one more thing is cloning of the existing applications and adding malicious code by tampering and repackaging. So it is very little bit easy to reverse engineering the application and to tweak the code and add malicious intention code and tamper it and repackage. So these are the some of the ways how they are trying to publish. These are the various ways how they are publishing the application. So hosting on the third-party app stores, So social engineering campaign means they will only initiate a campaign saying that this is the application which we doing for the particular purpose. In fact, that is the fake application. So we are also having the news saying that some even official app stores also not an exemption. They are also hosting on the Google Play stores fake application. Though Google Play is trying its best enough to get rid of such kind of applications, still they are getting as part of the ecosystem, like emails and SMS messages that appear to be from bank and credit card companies and other brands, and they will ask to try to click on the link, and indirectly it will push an agent which will be get onto your device, right? So as a notification of security updates means a notification suddenly comes saying that this is a secure update. Once you install that update, it will hide that application completely, and you can't see any icon on the device, but it will reside on your device as a background. So these kind of things normally happens when you these are the some of the behavior. Now these are the few parameters that helps in detection. Means whenever you are trying to download an application, the first thing is you need to see the popularity of the application. As I said that it is always recommended to install an application from the genuine store. Means don't trust third-party app stores. Means we have like APK Pure and AOG. Like there are so many third-party app stores also. But however, Google Play Store is the official genuine app store. So whenever you are going to download any app from the Google Play Store itself also, first do a quite recent time of research to know which is the popular app. So based on the reviews, if you study the reviews, you will understand whether it is a sign of good application or fake application based on the reviews and ratings, right? So the developer of the application, the more apps that developer has created, the higher the chances that developer is real. Yes, sir. So normally when the from the particular developer, if the more apps are coming, indirectly is having more user base. So this is one of the fact which need to be considered while installing an application. Before installing an application, this kind of research need to be done. So visual things such as spelling errors, logos, poor quality, and unbalanced or poor formatted interfaces are clues of that the app may be fake. So normally sometimes genuine app and fake app, the main difference will come in the logos, and there will be spelling errors, and the quality also that much not very good, because it is fake. Why in the creation of the fake application he will keep more effort in making user more interactive, so he want to keep little effort but try to create a fake app. So identifying these kind of parameters will make you to identify the fake application easily. So like recent times of we had detected 28 fake apps removed from the Google Play Store post Quick Heal Security Labs report, and these apps don't have legitimate functionality related to the app name, but credit card process. Their description on Play Store is something like related to provide credit card process, but in the actual application there is no information related to the credit card process. And home loan advisor description on the Play Store gives advice for home loans, but in actual application there is not any information related to home loan advice. So these kind of things are also happening in the Google Play Store, and later they are trying to analyze and remove. Recently, I will tell one example. Yesterday, I had seen one application. I forgot exact name, but what something is the package name of the application. Means in Android, every application have a package name. So the package name of the application is something like it is related to driving license, but it is something like photo editing kind of thing as a functionality. Means uh, always you can easily identify an application whether it is a fake or genuine if you keep a little time or effort in analysis and the studying of the reviews, what is their past reviews, something. So the reviews will indirectly will help to distinguish which is good or bad, right? This is the one of the important thing. So mobile phishing also one of the where if you see that a given text though the complete text is not with the proper spellings or something, still we are able to read. So the reason is, as a human mind does not focus on the entire word. So mainly it will focus on the starting letter and the last letter. So if both are correct, we will feel comfortable to read and we'll assume that good. So we must be very really careful and good enough to, before trying to do click on a link or something, what exactly that link, whether any special characters or something, uh, whether something Google, let's say that Google is there, whether O is something really O or zero or something special characters. So those kind of little bit analysis need to be kept while doing the critical operations, which will indirectly safeguard us from the hackers. So phishing attacks remains an effective method for stealing of the information. So researchers also says that for every 20 seconds there is a new phishing site is getting launched. So 87% of the successful mobile phishing attacks takes place outside the email only, and 60% of mobile phishing attacks occurs over HTTPS, because they are getting HTTPS also, like let's encrypt, they are trying to use, and they will get easily SSL certification. So nowadays getting a phishing sites also, launching a phishing site is also getting easy. So we should be somewhat conscious while doing what we are doing in a mobile. In fact, I believe that Android operating system, though we are telling these are the vulnerabilities, the only primary requirement is a little bit consciousness while doing the operation itself. It will try to make us land up in the safe one. So hidden apps also one of the major threat vector. So what they will use, they will hide their existence on the victim device by removing their icon from the home screen and perform malicious activities. So this is the one of the major threat vector in the 2019. So thousands of apps are actively hiding their presence after installation. So this is how they will try to, once installation they will hide the icon and they will try to do the malicious intentions from the background. So adware, so popping the app ads frequently. So what criminals are trying to do is they're trying to install the adware on that device that redirect them to range of different types of ad types and topics. So the digital ad revenue is getting generated from this number of screens displayed and the number of clicks captured. So fraudulently increasing these number is also becoming very popular technique. So adware also becoming very major threat factor. So though you install an application, if you recognize that okay, it is generating the frequently ads something, it is better to avoid such kind of applications. So normally a Google Play Store itself a disclaimer in the information about the app saying that it's having the ads capability to project ads. But if you feel that okay, somehow this application is giving more ads than the usability of the actual functionality, it is better to avoid such kind of applications. So these are the some of the important major threat factors. And now we'll coming to the some of the important security and privacy configuration which we need to focus at the device side to safeguard from the malicious intention developed applications or something. So the best way is to keep your Android phone from sending your personal data to its server is to turn off backup. So in every device, there is an option where you can back up your data. So it is always recommend to turn off the backup. So of course, there are some drawbacks also. If you turn off the backup, if somewhere, if you lose your phone, you may lose your data. But it is something like you can do manually. You can back up your data at a regular interval of time. Means for every month, you can take the backup and keep in your system. Uh, it is more better. Means it is something like we have to think between whether the usability is my primary uh, paramount or the security. If you feel that okay, data something which I lose is not that much of critical data, maybe in that context the backup of my data may be used. But as a security aspect, if you feel the security is first priority than anything else, about the usability capabilities, then it is better to turn off the backup my data also. Like you can go to the settings and of the your device where there is a backup and reset button. From there you can switch off the backup my data. So this is the screen telling that how to toggle. This is how the screen looks like and where you can turn off the backup my data. So now coming to the smart lock. So this is also, see, it is something like a usability factor. Means when you are when the mobile phone touches to your body, automatically the screen get unlocked. When you are going to specific zone area, automatically your device is going to get unlocked. When you are getting near to specific hardware device which is trusted, automatically your device lock is getting unlocked. So these are the some usability aspects there which will reduce the every time entering of the username and password. But unfortunately there are some drawbacks also. So if you want to turn off such kind of settings, you need to go to the settings and then device and privacy, where you can switch off or on of the smart lock. So these are the some of the options like on body detection. So it will automatically unlock your device when you keep your device unlocked when while it's on you. It means when you are touching at a particular place. So trusted places means like that I may configure like when I am residing on this particular, when I am entering into the office itself, it should be unlocked. So trusted devices means when I am coming near to specific trusted device, automatically device going to get unlocked. So these are some usability aspects. As a mobile OEM manufacturer, he will always try to impress the end user by selling the best product, by providing various usability option. But the thing is how good in using those usability options is our requirement. Means a lot of options are there, where to use, how to use, and when to use, so how effectively, that is at our discrimination. So Google advertising tracking option also means based on our priorities, they will try to pop up the ads. So this particular thing also you can turn off by going to the settings, where clicking on the Google. So you can opt out of ads personalization, which is by default disabled. So if not, if it is not, it is enabled also, you can go to your particular settings where you can go to the Google and further traverse to ads. There you can toggle off this particular option. So it will safeguard you from the advertising. So location history also you can you can turn off this location history. So it will indirectly tells each and every moment where you are traveling, what is your current position, everything. So to turn off this critical, if you feel that this information is critical as part of my job or my requirement, you can turn off such kind of thing. So where those options also available on the device settings. So where you can turn and off a toggle is able. So where you can turn off your Google location history. So what you can also delete the till now whatever captured data, also you can have the ability to delete the location history. So this is where you can recent location requested applications, everything. You can decide based on your priorities, you can customize. So this is one of the important functionality which is called device erase functions. Means let's say that you kept every password, everything safe. Means you are very strongly practicing the best practices, and you kept the password, everything, but somehow you lost the device. But there should be, even after the loss of the device, you are guaranteed that your data won't go to the wrong hands, because you had followed the preliminary practices like keeping the device screen lock. But however, after certain frequent of times of attempting, indirectly you should also configure on the device those settings, like after 10 failed attempts of unlock attempts, it should trigger OS level itself, it should automatically trigger the wiping of the your entire data. Means factory reset need to be done. So those kind of options also will enhance the security to your data, right? So if you see this particular screen, there is an automatic wipe option, where wipe device after 10 failed unlock attempts. So uh, so lock screen notifications also. So lock screen notifications also one of the critical factor which will safeguard your data or your interactions. What happened normally when you lock the screen also, you will sometimes see that notification came from WhatsApp or something. But in specific devices, you are able to see the matter also, means this is what message you had received from X person. So there are certain configurations already given as part of the Android operating system, but you need to properly configure. Once you configure them properly, indirectly you are increasing the rise of bar towards the security of your device. So there is an option where you can go to the settings and then sound and notifications, where when the device is locker setting, the most privacy conscious setting is to hide sensitive notification content. So there is option whether to show the content when the lock screen is there, whether not to show the content. So those options are given at the operating system level. So it is at your own interests and your own necessity of the security, you can choose the best option. So one more thing is preventing unauthorized apps from installing. See, for any application, as per the research studies, everything is telling is when you try to install an application from the outside of the Google Play Store, definitely there is more chances of threat, because there is no preliminary analysis straight away. Don't get executed on such kind of application when you're trying to access from the unknown sources, because for in the latest Android 10 and everything, by default, if any application getting part of your device, and if you try to install from other than Play Store, in the initial stage itself, OS level, it will block installation from unknown source. But sometime as a usability or something, let's say my friend has sent some application through WhatsApp. So by default, OS level has taken a responsibility to restrict the installation. By default, that option has been disabled. But as a user, for that instance, you will toggle it on. You will toggle on that install from unknown sources. But later point of time, again you forget to disable this. So indirectly, you are entering next time onwards, whatever the application comes from particular application, straight away operating system will think that it is a okay. The user itself has admitted that if any application or APK I receive from the WhatsApp, it is authorized and it is permitted to install. So but doing of such kind of things will end up in the lapses of security. So it is always best, and it is the important aspect need to be considered. Never ever allow installation from the unknown source, because see, nowadays any application, best application or any application which is suited functionality, 99% is the relevant functionality application is available in the Play Store. If still you are looking from the unknown source, indirectly you are welcoming yourself to the malicious intent, malicious hackers, right? So this is one of the things which you need to be very concerned and much focused. So one more thing is auto update. You need to ensure that always your data, your application will be automatic updated, because as part of data restriction or something, we always keep like that only update when it's Wi-Fi or something. But in fact, if the security is the very important aspect, then update should be never missed. It should not be happened without any it should be happened instantly without any delay, and that is the one of the important factor you need to consider. So so always update your device with latest software, especially install all security patches provided by the OEMs to patch various security threats. And never visit any shady websites by clicking on the links you have received over SMS or WhatsApp or by any other means. And never install apps or software from unfamiliar publishers from our third-party app stores. And never use public Wi-Fi hotspot, because public Wi-Fi hotspots are sometimes where they will try to sit on that and they will try to intercept. So never try to connect through any freely available Wi-Fi hotspots. It is always dangerous. So as the reports, everything are pointing that there are chances of happening of security breach, a data breach is going to happen. So it is best to avoid such kind of things. So these are the some references where this data has been evolved. So thank you. So now if any questions are there, it's welcome.
If anyone have any queries and questions, please write in the chat box.
See, always, whenever there is a click, whenever there is a click, something you need to done. First of all, you need to see, you need to analyze the URL itself, whether it is correct URL you are received or something. And there is an option called in Google Chrome. There is a safe